Al Green.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the next video. Today we're going to be talking about bank accounts for expats. How do you choose those when you're moving to a new country? This is something that I have a lot of experience with. I've been an expat for 6 years. I've moved to 2 different countries, so I kind of have some good tips, some recommendations for expats who are probably new to this or asking those types of questions. So hopefully I can just share some of that knowledge with you. This isn't specific to the Philippines. This is for anybody who may be choosing a bank account internationally as an expat. So today where we're at is the sports complex here in Puerto Princesa. It's a pretty cool place actually. There's a little track area here, some basketball area stuff back there, soccer stuff over that way. It's a real cool place. There's a lot of kids out here right now. It's a little noisy, so I apologize about that. Abby couldn't be here today. She's been very busy this week, running around, so apologies for that. She'll be back in the next one. Today, you're stuck with me. Actually, this week I got my alien certificate of registration here in the Philippines, which kind of allows me to do 2 things right now. It allows me to get a bank account in the Philippines and also register for health insurance here. So that kind of triggered in my mind. It's like, wait a minute, I can actually share some knowledge with you guys about international banking. So there's 2 types of broad banks, I guess, when you're an expat looking to move internationally or overseas. One of those is international banks, and the second one is local banks. We'll start off with the international banks. International banks are obviously the banks that are located within various countries. As an example, HSBC, UBS, Citigroup. These are banks that have a wide geographic reach. They're located in multiple countries and continents. So those are what I refer to as international banks. There's a lot of advantages to international banks. There are a few cons to this. We'll go through some of those. So a few advantages to the international bank. So if you're an expat and you're moving to a new country, you're more than likely going to keep a bank account back in your home country. So if you can be with an international institution, like an HSBC for an example, if I have an HSBC account in my home country, which is the US, and I happen to open up one here in the Philippines, there's a lot of advantages for that. One of the main advantages is the currency transfers. So you can immediately transfer funds between an account in your home country to your account in your new expat country. And usually those transfers can happen immediately. Another advantage is that these international banks will let you store your current in a different currency than the home country of which you're at right now. So as another example, while I was in Dubai, I had an HSBC account. I can have a US dollar savings account, which is very good for me because if I'm transferring money back and forth between Dubai and the United States, I don't lose anything on the exchange rate, and the transfers, they happen immediately. A third advantage to the international banks is obviously the global reach that they have. If you travel a lot, you go to different countries, they have a broad ATM network. You can go there, you can collect your money out. Most of them have branches in different locations, so if you need to hop into a branch in a new country, no problem. A fourth advantage is the security of the bank itself. There's a lot to be said for that. When you go to another country and you happen to open up a local bank account with a local branch, sometimes you're just not so sure about the stability of that bank. We'll talk more about that when we talk about local banks. I can explain some of the issues that could happen with that. But the overall security for international banks, they're obviously backed by a good brand. They have a good basis behind those things. So they're more stable and more secure with your money, which obviously that's a good thing when you're talking about banks and your own money. So another big thing for me for international banks is when you want to move back to your home country, if you're with the same financial institution, it makes the account closure process in the country you're at right now a lot simpler, a lot more easier, less paperwork. You can just pretty much transfer your funds over, close your account, makes the process less painful when you compared to working with local banks in your expat country. So one of the bad things about international banks is actually the qualification to have an international account like that. With HSBC, it's around £60,000. With Barclays, it's around £25,000. So these are not cheap. But if you have that kind of money laying around, there's a lot of advantages to having those types of accounts. But again, it's not cheap. So that's one of the biggest disadvantages, is that not everybody can receive those benefits because they just don't have that much money laying around, which I understand that. So the second type of bank account that I want to talk about today are the local banks. These are the banks that are only located within the country that you're relocating to. Example of that is I'm in the Philippines right now. There's a local bank here called BDO. It's only located within the Philippines, not other countries. So that's what I mean to refer to by local banks. Now, there's a lot of things that you need to consider opening up a local bank account in your new country. Anywhere you go, whether that's the Philippines, wherever, Middle East, wherever that is, there's things you need to consider from my point of view and my experience to keep an eye on. The first thing is the security and the sustainability of the bank. Now, depending on where you're at, which country you're at, there may be some banks that have not been around or established as long, so you have to keep that in mind. So there's a bank in the Philippines, as an example, that collapsed about 3 or 4 years ago. Banco Filipina, I believe was the name of it. They collapsed, and the only insurance that they had for each account was around $10,000 US, I believe. So if you had an account in there and it was over that, you have a risk of possibly losing more money than you had in there. So always keep that in mind, the sustainability of a bank. There's a lot of things that could happen. It could be the bank's institution that falls out. It could be a lot of political things that happen, a lot of economical things that can happen as well. So just keep that in mind, because it just depends on which country you're at, the bank. But I'll give you some tips on things to look at to probably hedge off some of those risks. Another thing to keep an eye on is the international transfers. Will your local bank allow international transfers to and from your home country? I mean, that's a big thing. That's huge. In case you need to move your money from one bank or another, you want to have the options to do that. So make sure that your local bank can do that. One way to quick check is check to see. You can look online. Do they have a SWIFT code? SWIFT codes means that they do allow international transfers. I think most banks have those these days. But it's always best just to ensure what that is. Also, what charging rates do they use for international transfers? That's a good thing to know as well. Also, check what security is there. Insurance is there for your personal accounts. In the Philippines, there is it's called PDIC, which is kind of a federal insurance against bank account holders here. And I think right now it's $10,000 is what is insured per account. Again, that's just something that's good to know, because you may not want to keep more money in there than is insured. You may want to move some of that money back into your home bank account. Okay, so how do you choose a local bank? I have some qualifications just personally that I use to make sure that I feel at least better about which bank to go with locally. The first thing, this is kind of a insider tip, is go with a bank that has a good credit card product. Now, what I mean by that, are they working with a reputable brand like a MasterCard? If a MasterCard is working with that bank, that means MasterCard has put them through the ringer. They've looked at their financial backings. They make sure that before they partner up with a financial institution, that they're sound and solid. So if you can work with a bank that has a good credit card product partner with them, like a MasterCard, like a Visa, that's a very good sign that they've passed through their qualifications, which means that they're probably a safe bet for yourself. Look for longevity as well. Make sure a bank has been around at least 20 years. That's my preference, at least 20 years. I want to make sure they've been established for at least 20 years. Another thing is, do they have internet banking? That sounds kind of funny to some people, but you'd be surprised at the institutions that don't have internet banking here. Also, international transfers, that's huge, because you want to make sure if you need to get your money out from your expat country into your home country, that you don't have to jump through a lot of hurdles to do that. So that's another big thing as well. So that's all for today's video. We hope you found this information useful. This is Nicole. We hope you found that information useful. For those who subscribe to the channel, we would like to get more feedback from you guys. What types of videos would you like to see? So please leave some information in the comments below. We'll try to bring more videos that you want to see. If you're new to the channel, we do a lot of videos around this beautiful island in Palawan, daily life. It's all about me kind of moving from Dubai over to this beautiful island in Palawan. So if you like that, there'll be a button so you can subscribe up there. There's a button where you can subscribe below down there. And we look forward to having you with us. Bye.
Bye.